Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we are here for day 10 of LitMas. And first and foremost, I know what you're thinking. By God, you look good in that tank top. And yes, you would be correct. I got this from a friend and patron who found it on our Amazon wish list, to which there is a link to be found on the channel, on our About page. And none of you have exploited that, though you knew I'd had a birthday, though you knew Christmas was coming, though there have been all sorts of holidays in the meantime since I put that up there about a year and a half ago, but that's fine. Genius is often undervalued in its time, and, well, here we are. But today's prompt is some writers and booktubers you'd like to know better in 2019. I will start with the writers, one of which should be familiar if you have kept up with my Litmas videos so far, and that is Philip Roth. Having been exposed to him for the first time this year, I was really impressed with his writing style, with the humor that he put in, and with the humility that comes through in his prose. So I would like to read more of Philip Roth in 2019. If you have any suggestions for what Philip Roth I should read, I would love to see them in the comment section below. Moving on, Thomas Harris. The only Thomas Harris novels I have read have been part of the Lecter series, and that should not be surprising because to my knowledge he has only released one book that is not part of the Lecter series, that being Black Sunday. However, he will be releasing a non-Lecter series novel this year. I think it is in the first quarter of the year. March or April, I believe, but don't quote me. I'm sure you can Google it and find out. I'm sure I should have Googled it and found out before I went on this little spiel, but I did not, and I will not. Do your homework. You do your homework. I'm assigning it. You do it. Okay? But yeah, Thomas Harris. I think that Thomas Harris, though he is a pop novelist, and it would be very easy to classify most of his work as pop, even though I'm only familiar, again, like I say, with the Lecter series, I think that Thomas Harris skirts the line just enough between pop and literary that he could definitely be considered, that he will definitely garner more consideration in the future, much in the way that Dashiell Hammett sort of transcended the pulp novel and has garnered a little bit of literary acclaim, if you will. I think that Thomas Harris will enjoy that same type of transcendence in his literature. And also, during this year, it became not apparent to me, that's not a fair statement, I realized that I have never read Christopher Marlowe. I think I was supposed to, as an undergrad. Something, but I don't know what it was to be. But I've never read Christopher Marlowe, and he's something of a big deal. So it is a bit of a shame, and it seems every year around this time I start sort of taking inventory of the large names that I have not read and realizing, you know, there's someone that's really glaring, and in this coming year I should iron that out a little bit. And this year it so happened to me that it is Christopher Marlowe. And in previous years, that's really how I discovered Hemingway, and my joy of Hemingway was reading non-assigned Hemingway works and going from there. It's also how I fell in love with William Faulkner. So I think that there's probably, everyone with the exception of probably Steve Donahue, has holes in their reading. And Marlowe is definitely a hole in my reading that I should patch up this coming year. And finally, though obviously there are more writers I would like to get into, I think that it's good to call it quits somewhere. In the coming year, I would like to read more from Walter Isaacson, the biographer. He writes biographies, and I have read his Einstein biography, and it was, ironically enough, I recently commented on a video in which Steve Donahue mentions the Einstein biography. It was really a biography that transcends or transformed what I thought biographies could do, and he mentioned very much the same. And he recently came out with a biography on Leonardo da Vinci, and Leonardo da Vinci is up there with Einstein on historical people that really sort of pique my interest. So I would like to read that biography of Leonardo da Vinci this year. I would like to host a read-along on this channel for it. But also, he's done a lot more work than just that, so I would like to delve into a little bit more of his work, and maybe we'll work some more non-fiction onto the channel. Let me know in the comment section below which of his books, if you know any of his books, that would be best to delve into besides the two that I have mentioned. And finally, Booktubers. I made this list of 6 Booktubers, and after I made the list, and then I looked at it and realized, as I'm trying to figure out what to say about these channels, they pair up. So I have paired these Booktubers that I would like to get to know better, but also, if I could write a prescription, I would write a prescription for each of these Booktubers to try to know each other better in the coming year. So matchmaker, matchmaker, find me a match, catch me a catch, and I will give you some Booktube channels. But the other Winchester and Savvy, both of which are creating LitMas videos, and they have a similar type of internety energy, if that makes any sense. They're both people who I think speak very much to the culture of the day in a way that I do not, but that I can appreciate. And I would very much like to enjoy both of their channels and know both of them a little bit better in 2019, because I think that they are both channels that they are perhaps tangents on Booktube culture, as well as tangents on internet culture, as well as tangents on YouTube culture. And that's a very strange Venn diagram, but it is a Venn diagram that when they all overlap, you would find the two of these channels, and the two of these personalities, and the two of these people. And they really have, like I say, a different energy about them. The next pairing is Mina Reads and Rashmika Likes Books. Both of them have a bit of attitude to them, and maybe we're going to have to iron those things out, because they talk back a lot. Talk back to me a lot. Don't seem to give many other people attitude, but we'll see. We'll see moving forward. But both are very intelligent, and I enjoy watching. Both of them seem to have a knack for letting their thoughts unravel on camera, for having perhaps a loose sort of plan about what to say, but then they really work through it on camera. And I am very guilty of overplotting, overplanning, and overscripting videos so that I come across very stiff, and if I forget something, I have to backtrack, and I'm not very good at letting thoughts unravel on camera. I sort of freeze up like a deer in headlights, but they're both very good at that, and I really, really like the quality and directness of their thoughts and of the way that they present themselves. And I think that they would value that in each other as well. And finally, Franny for Thoughts and Very Fancy Doily. Now, Franny for Thoughts is someone that I've known-ish, obviously, since 2016, I think. But we haven't interacted very much in the last while. And Very Fancy Doily is creating LitMas videos. And the one thing that they both have in common, I think, is a very calm reserve and a very warming personality and a very welcoming ambiance. And I've got none of those things, so I should probably take note while watching them. But I think that these two would also enjoy each other if they are not already familiar with each other, because of those things, and because both of them have, while and whereas Mina and Rashmika, their channels and videos have a direct nature, Very Fancy Doily and Franny for Thoughts have a more embracing nature, and their videos present themselves very much as, come in and sit down, we'll have a talk. And I think that's an impressive way to be able to present a channel, because I think it's very easy, especially on this corner of the internet, for videos to seem like a lecture or like a class. So those are the booktubers that I would like to know better in 2019. Are there any other booktubers that I should try to know better in 2019? But that is the prompt for day 10, and I hope to see you tomorrow for the day 11 prompt, which is your 2018 BookTube MVP.